week's profile gets political. RAQ needs a plug. Almost West comes in to show off their new threads, and our favorite Loggers commentary, Nick the Body Rytilahti, is in studio to talk about this year's Loggers baseball. Next on Profile. Profile, we brought in campaign manager Doug Farmer to talk about the campaign for Doug Farmer Sr., who's running for who's this year's mayoral candidate. So, who is Doug Farmer? Well, he is a La Crosse resident since 1971, District 10 resident since 1971, and proud father of 4 sons, Morgan, Malcolm, Gordon, Douglas. He also has around 30 years experience in the La Crosse area with politics. Now, Doug, how you doing?
Not bad. Thanks for having me, Zach.
No problem. Well, I'm gonna get into the hard stuff right away so we can just move forward. Start off with, what's his favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. Favorite pro football team?
I mean, the Packers. Come on.
All right. It's good. Most important question, boxers or briefs?
That's a little personal.
All right. He might even stick to the britches. I understand that, is Morgan?
Malcolm.
Malcolm is the basketball coach
Malcolm
of the
is
family.
the basketball coach of the family.
He is a coach at SMU. So, obviously, March Madness around. I already know your Final Four prediction. We talked about that.
Yeah, it didn't go too well.
It hasn't gone too well.
No.
But what is Doug Farmer Sr.?
Well, he will always go with the coach, and so you got to go with Louisville, with Rick Pitino. And then the most talented team, he'd say, is Indiana. After that, you got to go with what's fun. Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, ride the Eagles wins, right?
He is. He's
Fourth team, it's a toss-up now that Gonzaga's up.
Now, this is going to be a little personal, but I need to know, out of Morgan, Malcolm, Gordon, and yourself, who's the favorite son?
Well,
I mean, obviously, you're named after the man himself, so there's got to be some...
You warned me those other questions were coming. You didn't warn me about this one. I would have appreciated the heads up.
I mean, I hope none of them are watching.
I think the odds of that are slim. I'm going to plead the fifth and just dodge that question as best I can.
Well, anyway, what do we have here? Who's the favorite son?
Obviously, I think it's me, but I'm probably wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. So, you just graduated. You had a nice little job, and what, from my understanding from the reading, is that he was ready to hang up.
Yep.
What was it? How long was he in city council? How long was he in city council? Why don't you give his experience into politics?
He was on the city council for 26 years, and then mid-November, they moved around the districts a little bit, so he was no longer representing the people that had elected him by one block. Your parents were in the old district, and they still are, but it's 2 blocks away, no longer.
We grew up around the same corner.
Yep.
No big deal.
Back in the neighborhood.
No big deal.
So he resigned to let your parents choose their own representation, and he thought that was that.
So he's going to hang it up, but then, just like MJ and Favre got the itch.
Let's stick with MJ.
We'll go with Favre. We don't want to go with Favre yet after the pictures and the Vikings and whatnot. So we'll just, Mr. Farmer is a lot more cleaner than that.
I would hope so.
Yeah, well, anyway.
That's not saying much, and let's be honest here, Brett Favre was a bit of a...
well, we won't go there. But anyway, he got the itch to come back.
Well, he would tell you it was he felt the duty to come back. He likes that duty word. 4-year-olds across the country just laughed at me. But when 2 mayors pulled out of the race, he thought, well, somebody should step in here with experience. And he's got that 26 years in the council and 40 in government, so he thought that should be him.
Why does he feel that he is the best candidate? What is he bringing to the table? Why did he choose to... I'm asking 2 questions. Let's start off with that one.
Say what you will about Matt Harder, and my father will tell you Matt Harder is a very smart person. Very, very intellectual guy, but he had no experience when he stepped into City Hall. And so La Crosse is coming off 4 years of on-the-job training, and it needs more stability than that. And that experience that my father has would theoretically, and we hope to put it in practice, help City Hall become the good City Hall it once was.
Okay, so as from my understanding, he wants to put a lot of his mission, or he's going off of his neighborhoods. So do you want to elaborate on?
La Crosse, as everybody says, La Crosse, and rightfully so, La Crosse's property taxes are far too high. There's some study, which I don't understand at all, that says on Alaska, its property taxes are 28% lower than ours. And it can't stay that way. And so if you improve the housing stock in La Crosse, yes, a few houses, their property tax will go up. But the broader scale of houses, their property taxes will go down because that substantial tax base will have been increased.
Okay, so what do you think his plan is? Or
One aspect of it is to invest more than $3 million over 2 years without taking any taxpayer money into neighborhoods through the Housing Rehabilitation Committee, and in doing so improve 60, 70, maybe as many as 100 houses in those 2 years, and in doing that drastically impact the tax base.
Okay, I like what I'm hearing right now, but we're going to take a quick break, come back with you. I got some more in-depth questions. I need to stop rocking my chair, I already know. Sorry, Dr. T. We'll be back with more Perfect Pets in 1 moment.
Meet Milano, a 7-year-old male domestic medium-haired cat. He's very friendly, easygoing, and would love a new lap to keep warm. Here's Otis, a 1-year-old potty-trained male lab border collie mix. He's very intelligent, well-behaved, and wants to show off his new tricks. Cue the bells, it's Angel. She's a sweet, gentle 6-year-old poodle. She loves to cuddle, is very laid back, and wants to share her smile with everyone.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
We're back here with more profile, and again, we're here with Doug Farmer. He's the campaign leader for his father's campaign for this year's mayoral. How do you? What's the
mayoral?
Okay.
Mayoral, I think.
Mayoral.
Does it really matter?
No, and that's what I'm going to lead into. What's my next question? So, I mean, I was in college for the first round when Matt and
Dorothy Leonard.
Dorothy Leonard, and I was a freshman, and
you're showing your age.
I had no idea, nor did I really care about the election, and I grew up in La Crosse, and now that I'm 18, or now that I'm a little bit older, I'm not 18, I was 18 then, now that I'm a little bit older, I'd like to think a little bit wiser. Probably not, a lot of people would disagree with that, but why should I, as a college kid, or about to enter the workforce when I graduate, why do I care about this election?
That's a good question, especially given where we are right now. But you have to realize that, as you know, because you grew up 2 blocks from me, and in fact, my house is 2 blocks closer to campus than yours is. That's how close the Farmer family is to UWL. Between the Farmer family house and the football stadium are 4 blocks of student housing. That's about it. So the UWL neighborhood is my father's neighborhood. And so why should UWL students care about the Doug Farmer campaign? Well, their problems eventually end up on his doorstep anyways. It's the same viewpoint in many respects. And the way I hear over and over again from UWL students, the landlords, the student housing, not necessarily the best situation.
Totally. And
he sees that firsthand within a block, and so he's not ignorant to these issues, and while they still need to be brought to his attention, more often than not, he knows immediately what the issue is because he sees it.
That would have been a huge help to me about 3 years ago when I lived in this, when I was young, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to save money, so I'm just going to live in this box that doesn't have air conditioning.
That sounds like a decision you would make.
I know, and it gave me epidigo. My face, I looked like Two-Face from Batman. It just got all